All right, well, fantastic. Now I've got the pleasure of talking to Jannicke, who has been developing out a really, really interesting product. In fact, I had the pleasure of seeing this a couple of weeks ago and was like super impressed with this. And I'll be honest, like we see quite a lot of this type of solution, but this one was pretty damn cool. So first of all, before we kind of get into it, like tell me a little bit more about what you're doing in the organization, because you guys have got a very different approach to really what an innovation lab and working within those actually means.
Yes. So what we did is, because I work in DNB, which is the largest bank in Norway, and actually we found that we have this really big pain point when it comes to how to identify our customers. So we started out to see, okay, can we solve this pain? And the reason what we started with was that all new passports, they have this sign on it, which means that it has a chip inside. So then we started to see, can we do, since this is stored electronically, we can process it digitally some way. So we went in search for partners, and we find partners who deliver key elements in, but then we built the whole solution. So the first thing we did was to do a proof of concept to see, can we make this fly? Yeah. And then we saw, yes, we can do it. And in old days, like 2 years ago or something, we will probably just have developed this inside DNB for our customer alone. Yeah. But in the area of open banking and looking for new business models, also in the banks, we decided, okay, now we're going to do this a little bit different. So we started this as a separate company. So it's a startup. So we just got money from, we got the investment from the mothership.
Is that your seed round funding that you just got from DNB?
Yes, I don't know where I get the money from, but I said yes. So I said, go ahead, we trust in you. You try to build your business. So it's a really cool way of doing it.
Well, then we saw this working as well. Like I was like, so you're going to lift all of my data off my passport chip. But it did it, and then I don't think many people know. Like people see that symbol on their passport, yeah. But I don't think many people really get that data is all sitting there. So do you want to maybe give us a bit of a view of how it works? Because this is, like I say, this isn't just a prototype. This thing works.
Yeah. We go production with DNB today, and that's why it can be a little unstable. But so let's see. So the first thing we do is that we read this. Machine readable sound at the bottom here. I'm just going to.
The joys of a live demo.
It's always
the challenge.
From those machine readable sound, what we attract is the passport number, the expiry date of the passport, and the birth date, my birthdays. And that is the key data elements that you need to be able to read the chip. Yep. So the next thing you do is that you place your phone directly onto your passport, and then you start reading all the information that's stored on the passport. So, and in the chip in the passport, actually that's 3 parts. Yep. One part contains the high resolution picture, yep. Which is also the same as in your passport. And the second part have all the information that's also written in your passport. And the third part is your fingerprint. And actually, I don't know anyone using the fingerprints for anything, but it's stored there. Not yet. Maybe the US will do it.
And that's the amazing thing, because it cross-checks the information that it pulls from the picture and from the chip to have a true view of, like, not only the credibility of the document, but the validity of the information that it's capturing.
Yeah, and all the information that's stored on the chip is signed by the issuing government, so you can't.
It's like assured. This is because, like say, a picture of a document is only as good as the document. But using the secure element within the chip on the passport, it's proving that they are who they are, and it's a valid document in the first place.
Yes. So at this stage of the process, we know for absolutely sure this is a valid passport. So the next thing we need to do is to make sure that it's the person owning the passport actually doing the process, because we don't want you to use my passport to establish a relationship. So that's the next phase that we do. And then we do 2 things. We take the high resolution picture, and we do the comparing. And at the same time, what we do is that we flash a lot of light. And at the same time as we're flashing the light, we film you. Yes. And then we measure how is this light reflected from your skin. Yeah. And that's it. And then we can decide that, okay, if you have a valid passport, you're a live and kicking person, and it's the same person.
And the photo
the
matches to the photo that you've just taken as well. So you've got like a perfect triangulation of data that actually validates the identity, validates the human, and like it's a very different way of doing that stuff.
It's a very different way, and what we have done also is that we developed the solution. We try to make it as easy as possible to implement. So what we have developed is the SDK, which actually just takes 8 lines of code to implement into your own app.
Nice.
And then we take care of the whole process that I just showed you. And then on the backend side, what we do is that we send all the information that we capture, a picture of the front page of your passport, all information for it from the chip, the high resolution picture, and also a picture of you doing the process. And then we send it over to the bank. That's both a solution, because it's the bank that has to be compliant to the AML and know your customer regulations.
That's really awesome.
And then we wipe all the data and we mask all the data we keep on our side, and that's also actually quite important. So.
And that's amazing. And the fact that you guys are, you're creating a business here. This is not something you're just creating for yourselves. This is something you're going to be going to market and exposing for to create a better way of doing this for the market. For me, that is that's a very different thing than most organizations are doing, and actually the business case internally for that must be a lot better to do. You're building a business. This isn't a project, right?
Yeah, we're building a business, and also that's the reason why we have built all the tech is built outside of DNB, and also of course we use partner for core elements in the process, but it's built in a scalable way. It's built to onboard several users of the solutions, and that's also, of course, that more costly than if we are just to implement those solutions into our own systems. But that's part of what we're doing, and also by doing the process this way, we do a lot of learning. Both, of course, as a startup, as every startup does, but also for the big organization, the mothership.
Well, it's phenomenal. Like a great example of people doing stuff and actually taking it to market. I really hope the new UK passports that we end up with have still got that chip in, so I can use it.
I hope so too. If not, you can go to the US, for example.
Fingers crossed. Well, thank you very much for joining us. Really appreciate you making the time, and congratulations on the product.
Okay, thank you.